einmal jemanden treffen, der tatsächlich mit Elvis zu tun hatte und zwar nicht nur mal ein Autogramm bekam, sondern ihn persönlich kannte, gute Beziehungen zu ihm pflegte, sein Schlafzimmer kannte, wie auch immer. Ist das nicht ein Traum eines jeden Elvis-Fan? Ich bin ganz ehrlich, für mich sind solche Dinge eigentlich eher nachrangig. Was mich aber interessiert, sind echte Zeitzeugen, Menschen, die mit Elvis zu tun hatten. Und beim Elvis Weekend in Bad Nauheim, jetzt im Oktober, hatte ich Gelegenheit, einen dieser Menschen zu treffen für ein Exklusiv-Interview. Ich bin ganz besonders stolz darauf, euch das heute präsentieren können. Gleich nach dem Intro geht's los.
Elvis Presley.
Ja, und für dieses Exklusiv-Interview begeben wir uns jetzt einmal ins Deutsche Winham Hotel in Bad Nauheim. Und wir schauen mal, wen wir dort treffen. Ja, es ist keine geringere als Mindi Miller. Mindi Miller war von März 75 an bis zu Elvis Lebensende im August 77 eine enge Freundin von Elvis Presley. Er tauschte sich mit ihr vor allem über spirituelle Dinge aus, aber auch über alles Mögliche, über seine Songs. Er nahm sie mit auf Tour. Ja, und sie kann berichten und sie hat den Fans in Bad Nauheim ihre wunderschönen Stories erzählt, wie sie Elvis kennenlernte und so weiter. Aber ich habe mir gedacht, für das Interview für euch hier bei In.ELVIS.Veritas wollen wir mal ein bisschen andere Seiten beleuchten und deshalb habe ich ihr interessante und spannende Fragen gestellt zu ganz verschiedenen Themen. Könnt ihr euch jetzt darauf freuen. Bevor wir aber loslegen, ganz herzliches Dankeschön an euch alle. Ihr habt es möglich gemacht, die Tausender-Marke der Abonnenten wurde überschritten und zwar schon ziemlich deutlich, sind bei 1040 glaube ich jetzt schon. Vielen herzlichen Dank. Die versprochene Verlosung wird es geben, aber nicht in dieser Episode. Ich muss das alles erst organisieren. Ich hatte auch nicht damit gerechnet, dass es so schnell geht. Aber versprochen und das Versprechen wird gehalten, wird es bei einer der nächsten Episoden geben. Aber jetzt exklusiv zu Mindi Miller. So, liebe Freunde von In.ELVIS.Veritas, jetzt bin ich ganz stolz, dass ich eine herausragende Interviewpartnerin jetzt für euch habe. Neben mir steht Mindi Miller. Mindi, welcome to Germany.
Thank you. Vielen Dank and guten Tag.
Guten Tag. You had a great show today. You told us fascinating stories about the king and you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And your song at the end was for all fans fantastic song.
You never know if people know this song. It's a song by Vince Gill called Go Rest High in That Mountain. And when I first heard the song, I thought this is perfect for Elvis. And I've made it my tribute song to him.
Okay, it was a fantastic song. You told a lot of stories today, but I have 2 or 3 questions. Maybe you can answer them. What was Elvis' reaction, or did you talk with Elvis about his reaction to the book Elvis What Happened?
Yeah, well, I was there. I was in his bedroom at Graceland, and he knew of the book, and he was extremely upset. He was pacing back and forth in the bedroom. I sat on the edge of the bed. I didn't say anything because he needed to vent, meaning he needed just to talk and get it out. Mm-hmm. So I just was very quiet and I listened. And, yes, he was very angry, and I think he felt betrayed at the time, but I think that he also knew that he needed to do something. And I think it was such a shock to him because he had treated these people very well, but they truly loved him. And they would have taken a bullet for him, and they did try everything to help him. And he was resistant, he wasn't ready to make that change. But he was going to later on, as we found out. But I think it opened his eyes, but in a way that was a shock to him, And later on, he spoke to Red West, and he it's not that he acted like nothing happened, but he said to Red, if you ever need anything, I'm here. Now, what a forgiving man. This man was the most forgiving, loving, wonderful, extraordinary humanitarian and private man that I've ever met in my life. There will never, ever be anyone like him again. He was God's gift to this planet. He was extremely humble, and he only wanted to do good by people and to help people. So yes, he was very upset. But I think had he lived, he wanted to turn things around, and he wanted to be healthier,
Okay. When you talked with Elvis about several things, did you also talk about his music, new records? Did he ask you how do you find my new record?
Well, the thing is, one of the songs that he sang to me when I first met him was Trouble, and he had just finished recording that song at RCA Studios in Hollywood, and on our first date when I met him, which was a blind date for him, he didn't know he was going to be he knew he was going to be meeting me, but I had no idea that I was going to be meeting him. I was going to a party, and there was no party. I was the party. So he took me upstairs and he put the music on and he sang to me privately, and he said, "You are the first person to hear this song." And he said, "If you like it, I'll do it on tour." And so when I joined him on tour, and he took me on tour for the first time, he incorporated that song into his repertoire. But he didn't sing it for very long because it was very wordy. And so when he would come on stage, he would have a piece of paper, and he would kind of look at the lyrics, and then when he felt comfortable, he would throw the paper to the stage floor, But one of the things that I reminisce about that I missed with new songs was I just missed his Jungle Room, his famous Jungle Room recordings. We had to fly the previous day very quickly out to Denver for Captain Kennedy's relative who passed away. And the Jungle Room recordings were supposed to be the next day. So he didn't do it the next day because we were in Denver for 2 or 3 days, so I missed out on that. But he did talk about songs, and he asked me if I liked this song or this song or this song, or what did I think of it. And he always wanted people's opinions because he wanted to make sure that people liked what he was recording and that they would buy his records, of course,
Yes. So now we are at Elvis Music. I think you had a hard day, a hard-working day. Don't want to take it too long, but I would like to ask you, what are your favorite Elvis songs?
Well, the first one has to be Trouble because it was the first one he sang to me, and I was the first one to hear it. But, so many songs. There's no way I could have one song, but I love his gospel songs. I love the young lady that sang some of his songs tonight. Of course, the trilogy was incredible. And I actually really like a song called Blue Spanish Eyes.
Blue Spanish eyes, teardrops are falling from your Spanish heart. Please don't cry. This is just adios and not goodbye.
Which is not a big favorite of anyone's, but I like it because I'm part Spanish. So for him to sing that, that kind of touches me home-wise, and being part Spanish, So I love that. I do listen to his gospel songs a lot.
You saw the movie with Austin Butler. What's your opinion about that movie?
I will be very honest with you about that. I think Austin Butler did a wonderful job. The movie was well done as far as the cinematography, which Baz Luhrmann is very famous for Moulin Rouge. He makes beautiful cinematography, beautiful looking films. His wife does most of his costuming in his films, and she did the Elvis costuming, which I thought was excellent. However, there were quite a few things that were not true. The person that portrayed Elvis's road manager, which was Joe Esposito, was never mentioned, was never shown, and another person was in that role, which was not true. Also, his mother was not some falling down drunk. And Elvis would have been extremely unhappy about them showing his mother in that light. And he was very protective of his mother. He loved his mother beyond anything. His mother and his daughter were the two most important women in his life. And so I know for a fact he would not appreciate that. The other thing is Elvis never went on stage and went into one of the tables in front of him and picked up somebody's alcoholic beverage.
Got here on my rocket ship.
And threw it across the room. That is something he would have never, ever done. And to portray this man in that way, I thought was extremely poor taste. The other thing is they showed a scene where the Colonel was in the audience, and Elvis was supposedly very belligerent and yelled at the Colonel and swore and things like this.
Shows you don't have a goddamn passport, you son of a bitch! You are fired!
Elvis Presley did not do that. That is not who this man was. And I'm upset, and so is his immediate family, I understand, to have him portrayed in that way. I know it's for sensationalism and to sell tickets, but the problem we have as the people that didn't care for that is that it shows him in a light that is not Elvis Presley, and the younger generation coming up, or the people that don't know anything about him on a personal level or intimate level, will think that that's him. He also, as a young boy, did not go into the black churches and, just go crazy on the floor and twisting and turning. He did go into black churches. He loved the black churches. He loved the choirs. He loved the singing. But there was just so many things like that just were not true. And why do you have to lie? The man had so much positivity about him that you don't need to embellish anything more about him. There's so much to talk about. Why do people continue to downtrodden him and his legacy in this way? I mean, if I did a movie, it would be a movie that nobody would ever think. It would be about spirituality. It would be about what we studied. And, I think it's overdue. I really do. I think there's been enough negativity about this man, and he did nothing to anyone to deserve any of it.
Very last question. How do you like Germany and Bad Nauheim?
Oh, I love Germany. I have not seen Bad Nauheim yet, so I'm hoping to take a tour. I was only 5 years old when Elvis came into the Army for his 2 years, so I'm hoping to travel around and see his statue and go to the hotel in his house, and I don't know if they would show the barracks or not, but do whatever I can while I'm here, and I definitely want to see Bad Nauheim. I am part German. My grandfather on my mother's side was German, and my grandmother on my mother's side was Spanish, and my father was born in Poland. So I'm a very European descent, and I love Germany. I have been here many times. I was in München and southern Bavaria. I saw Wagner's castle, which I fell in love with. Heilbronn, Dusseldorf. So I have traveled around a lot. but I need to learn the language.
So thank you very much, Mindi Miller, for this great interview. I'm very proud that you had the time for me for these few minutes.
Germany has always been a very good country to me. I've had many German friends, and I've made more this weekend with the Elvis fans. So I'm very partial to Germany.
Okay, I will show your Instagram account in my video description so that the fans can like you and follow you. Huh?
Thank you. And, if there's somewhere that I can watch this video, I would really appreciate it. Thank you to all the Germany fans and all of his fans throughout the world for loving him and continuing to support this incredible human being and humanitarian.
Das war Mindi Miller. Vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ja, soweit das Exklusiv-Interview mit Mindi Miller, einer unglaublich netten und eloquenten Frau, die mich wirklich beeindruckt hat über ihre ruhige Art, wie sie gesprochen hat. Es war ein Vergnügen, mit ihr dieses Interview zu führen, auch wenn ich mich sehr anstrengen musste. So oft spreche ich auch nicht Englisch, aber ich glaube, es hat ganz gut funktioniert. Ja, liebe Freunde, ihr werdet euch fragen, wann gibt es denn das Video zu Bad Nauheim, zum Elvis Weekend? Ich habe ja viele Fans von In.ELVIS.Veritas, Abonnenten dort getroffen, habe mich über viele nette Kontakte gefreut. Ja, das Video ist bereits in Arbeit. Es wird allerdings jetzt noch 1-2 Wochen dauern, bis das Video tatsächlich an den Start geht, denn ich habe unglaublich viel Material und es ist doch ein größerer Aufwand, das Ganze zu schneiden, und ich möchte es auch für euch so gut wie möglich machen, deshalb geduldet euch noch ein bisschen. Es wird jetzt am kommenden Sonntag ein Video geben mit André Mester zusammen, einen Talk. Und dann ist vieles noch in Bereitschaft und wartet darauf, dass es losgeht. Die Pläne bis zum Jahresende stehen praktisch schon perfekt. Danke, dass ihr wieder mit dabei wart. Bis dahin, ciao und servus, euer Gerd. Long live the King.